careful with it, would you? And, pie.
Thanks for saving me from the Chuck Norris marathon with the snack run, Carly.
No problem.
Don't get me wrong. Sharing a motel room with him after a hunt is an awesome way to celebrate. But the man's choice in movies is iffy, even on a good day.
What about mine? Digging into the law was not my idea of downtime after we cleaned out that nest. I'm coming back with nothing even remotely close to natural in it. Besides, you know I'm itching to take the wheel without your Mr. Backseat Driver and his comments. What?
Someone's by the car.
Of course. The one time he parks a mile away from the rooms. Really, Sandra? That's what you're going with for weapons?
Well, Dean never uses them.
Because throwing stars are as good of an idea as those films he makes you sit through.
Oh, put the demon blade away. It's our old partner in crime. Hey, I guess you're wanting to tag along again?
Well, come on in before Sam turns on the puppy dog eyes and makes me cave and bring him a salad, which I'm not going to do. I'm not a kale delivery system.
All right. Well, you know Dean's house rules in Baby. Driver picks the music, shotgun shuts his cakehole, and the ones in the back enjoy the ride, idling in the Impala.
Hope you like meatloaf.
For a snack?
Music, Sandra. Music.
Welcome to Idling in the Impala, a podcast by and for lovers of supernatural and the fan fiction it inspires. So the introduction is just me flying solo. We tried something a little bit different a couple months back. We got a request for a fan fiction story idea from a listener. So this is sort of just some exploration, brainstorming, and reading of what Carly and I discussed beforehand, and then what I came up with in writing it. So we hope you enjoy this episode, and here we go.
And then, yeah, we can absolutely, I think that might be like a shit, what do they call it? Like fan letters. What the fuck do they call that?
It's got, I don't know.
You know that there's a name for it as well, and I can't think what it fucking is. Oh god! like readers' letters, like fan letters, like
comments.
Oh god! Fan mail. Fan mail. That's the one. Yeah, fan mail. That's the one.
So we can make that like a fan mail. Like if we're lucky enough to get another fan.
Yeah, that's it. We could do like a shorter episode of like fan mail and just be like, you know, it's Anna who's reached out to us and she's given us some great ideas and we can have like a bit of a chat about it. Mm-hmm. And then there's sort of sets up scope for if she comes back to us with any other ideas or if anyone else gets in touch. And, you know, that might just prompt people like, hey, people are getting in touch. You could also get in touch.
Yeah. And that doesn't have to be like a super, like I said, that might actually be a shorter one. Like we might actually be able to keep that down to like 30 to 40 minutes, which would be pretty amazing for an episode.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever do that.
No, we don't.
The first one.
Do you remember way back when we put up Test Drive and it was like, I think it was like 50 minutes long and we were like, yeah, so we're probably going to try and get that down to like maybe 30 or 40 minutes. And that's the shortest fucking thing we've ever done.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't. But I do feel better because a lot of other, from what I've been listening to, a lot of other podcasts, they don't keep it. Like I've seen hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. I mean, some people do, they are able to keep it. I don't know why. I mean, I think it's just because when you enjoy discussion and it just kind of, it goes off the rails, but in a good way. I mean, that's the whole point of, I think the name of the podcast, Idling, you know, you're just kind of like, you're just kind of doing a thing and you're not in a hurry and it's just happening the way it needs to happen. So I don't know. But we can test that out. Explicit stuff, like I don't think they read a lot of that. No. So that's why I'm trying to keep it more like the story. I want to keep more like teen or whatever, just from reading because she's got like two kids and even though she says she really likes my stuff, I'm like my stuff has got so like maybe you do just like the plot. Maybe you like the plot, the character stuff. So
I was skimming through the initial Anna stuff, and she's very complimentary about your characters and stuff. Like super, super complimentary, really into that, because you are the absolute ledge of characters. And that's why you're writing this thing and not me, because I'm not. I saw it and I was like, fuck, I want to read that. And then I was like, God, I don't want to write it though.
I know, that's why I feel like it's gonna take a little while. But I wanna at least like give it a go, even if it's just like a really quick one, and I just put in some of those different things that she highlighted, because it's like when she got going. I was like, okay, I'm like, she's got a lot of ideas, so let me see if I can find a way to, because I was genuinely touched by how much like feedback she gave, and the fact that she obviously very much relates to Dean with a lot of the stuff that she mentioned. And I think then by extension, I think just some of the stuff we've talked about in the family episode, I think she related a lot to you.
Yeah.
So I think that was really sweet. So yeah, it's supposed to be my little project. But yeah, so then I don't know, it might not be that long when we talk about it, but I guess we could just see how it goes.
I'm looking at this from a not character person and being like, so we've got Jensen and then JJ, Zep and Arrow, and then Jared, Tom, Shep, Odette, possibly Jen. So that's like 6 of them. And then obviously there's her and her 2 kids. So that's like 9. And then Sam, Dean, and Castiel as well.
I'm totally taking
that's too many characters.
I was already having it in my head. I'm taking the wives out because I'm gonna have Daniil off somewhere with JJ, and then Jensen just has the twins, and I'm literally just gonna have Jared by himself because Jared's already enough to deal with. I can't imagine him and the kids and all that.
Oh, so can you imagine? That'd just be, oh God, I love him, but he's not great at dad, is it? Well, I mean, maybe he is great at dad, but who knows?
Because she made a mention of wanting, like, she feels like her kids would babysit. I'm like, well, they've got to babysit the youngest ones. So to me, the youngest ones would be Arrow and Zeppelin. So that I'm already like the wives are not involved.
So maybe Daniil, JJ, Jen, and Odette are off doing some kind of like girly thing. Mm-hmm. So then how are we going to get rid of Tom and Shep? God, that sounds awful, doesn't it? So how are we going to bid off the other 2?
There's got to be a way. I have to think about it. I'll think about it. Because if it could even be like, if it's a summer thing, maybe they're away at some sort of camp or something like that. Or maybe they're doing a thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so maybe the Padalecki kids are at camp. Mm-hmm. Jen's, I don't know, she's got family in Idaho. She's fucking gone. We don't care.
Yeah.
Right. The Padalecki kids are at camp. Uh-huh. Jen is away. Uh-huh. Daniil and JJ are off doing some kind of girly thing. Yeah. So that's only going to leave the twins, which is infinitely more manageable.
Yes.
Honestly, I was looking at it like, so many characters.
Yeah, no, I was
Jesus
like, no,
Christ.
I'm like, I can't, because I was like, I got to find a way to pare this down. So, because I think I already have them like renting like a minivan. I'm like, there's no way you could fit that many people anyway, even in like the biggest, like however great a driver she is, I'm not putting her in like a bus. Like, so we're just gonna do like a
minivan. How many people does a minivan?
So I make it do like 7. And
okay, yeah.
So I feel like that's, and I mean, if they have to like bunch together, whatever, but like the kids could probably be in like the way back, and then the passenger behind like the drivers and stuff. That's probably where you could stick like Jared and Sam and Cass.
No, I'm telling you right now, if you were going to do that, if you had 3 rows of seats, you put the kids in the middle row.
Okay.
Because they're more protected that way.
Okay.
Because if they duck, they've got the front and the back. If you put them in the back and they duck, there's only like the seats and then the like back of the car.
Okay.
So like I'm coming at this from like a parent angle, and I'm thinking you'd probably have Jensen and Dean fighting to be in the back to protect that side, and then you'd have to have So you could probably put the kids and Cass in the middle, as Cass will do like his angel protection thing. I'm thinking of that bit in Lucifer where he puts his wings around Chloe.
Yeah.
But like Castiel can't do that. His wings aren't corporeal.
Yeah.
But that's what came to mind. Is
Yeah.
fucking what season is that? It's season 3, season 4.
And of season 3, because I'm in 5 now. I'm in season. How many seasons were there? Wait a minute. There's 6, right?
6.
Yeah, I'm almost at the end of season 5. So yeah.
Yeah. That's a good season. Season 6 is really good as well.
Just past a musical episode.
Yeah, I hated that. I was like, fucking what is this now? What is this now? Yeah. But yeah, I was like, that's how my brain thinks at the end of season 3, and he just like puts himself over and like smooshes his wings around, doesn't he? And gets shot to fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, you put the kids.
So kids in the middle.
There's not going to be car seats, is there? So you'd put the two babies in the middle, and then the older kids on the outside, and then Castiel. I'm imagining this being a car chase. I don't know necessarily that it is going to be, because I'm imagining bullets flying, which is why I'm trying to. So we'll piece all this demons
together,
don't car chase, do they? That's not.
No, but what I was thinking is if they, so like for the demon aspect of it, I kind of want this to almost be like a little AU or a little different, like, or maybe even it's just a younger version of Sam and Dean from when Crowley's still around. So somehow make it a demon thing where he's still plotting and he's still around, and he's maybe trying to go through the different alternate universes to kind of like wipe out all of the versions of Sam and Dean. And that even includes like this version of that, in our planet, Jared and Jensen, who are like, the doppelgangers too.
Yeah.
The fact there's no Sam and Dean here. So kind of not plot it where it's like a huge thing, but have it be like a little bit of an info dump on maybe either Sam or Dean's end, where they're describing what's going on. And then Jensen talks about what he had to do like at the house when they came in, because she plotted that out really particularly. And I'm like, I think myself, I'd rather have somebody like talk about it rather than jump into that. And then I'd rather have them meet them on the road and then kind of take it from there and have it be very, like, what the heck's going on? This is so weird and da 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 da. And then, but still knowing who everybody is, but this very out of body, almost like a dream kind of thing. So I'm still trying to figure out the scenes might just like pop in and out after at some point. Like, I'm not necessarily going to go from like point A to point B, like maybe have a little, like all of a sudden they're in another spot. All of a sudden they're in another spot. So I'm not sure about the car chase, but maybe if they can do a car chase, I don't think there's necessarily going to be bullets, but I guess it depends on who they inhabit, like who the demons inhabit. If they already have guns or whatever's going on that way, then that could be a thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking in terms of the chase, because I definitely have to have the car chase in there.
But I'm just looking through now the like 13-year-old fanboying all over Dean, like, boy, this is really like you get killed, put your head down. Because now I've got the kids in the middle and the babies, the aqua babies in the middle of the middle row, and then the outside kids, and Dean sort of being in the back, maybe with Jensen, and then Cass is in the middle with the kids, and then she's driving, and then you'd have Sam and Jared in the front, sort of. Maybe they're giving directions. Jared's giving directions on like where to go, to maybe
Jared
get
would
safe.
Be the worst person to do that, though.
Maybe Sam's giving directions while Jared's
even though Sam has no idea where he
Well, no, it's the same. It's going to be the same streets and stuff. It's going to be the same part of. It's going to be the same part of Texas. Like, you've got to maybe assume, like, I don't know. They've been to Texas, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, we can have maybe we can have Jared figure out, like, his. Not Jared. I'm confusing myself. Sam using his whole like skills about getting information off of his phone or whatever, and being able to like,
maybe while Jared's having some kind of small little freak out, Sam's there with his phone going, turn left, turn right, you turn right again. Yeah, but no, I've got it in my head now of like Jensen and Dean, because they're arguing over who's going to protect the kids, of course, because Jensen's like, fuck you, they're my kids, and Dean's like, shut up, I know demons, and they fight. And because I could just see like her little boy like popping his head up over sort of the row of seats, and Dean like, you put your fucking head down, stop it.
Yeah.
Now I've got that in my head now.
Okay, so I think if we have So, okay. So Jensen and Dean all the way in the back.
Yeah. Sort of looking out of the back window.
Yeah. And then we've got.
She's driving.
So maybe Jared. So maybe we have Jared. Maybe we have Jared and Castiel on either side of the kids. In the middle.
How big is the seat though?
We'll just make it work. We'll just pretend it's all going to work. The kids are going to be like smushed in between, basically.
Smushed,
but they'll
huddled up together. Yeah.
Yeah, but probably like if they can't jostle about any, that'd be helpful.
that probably would be actually, because then you like. Are we putting Jared in the back, or are we putting Sam in the back with the kids?
I want Sam in the front. I trust Sam. I just if we're going to do directions or whatever, I think Sam in the front, because he can at least, if something's happening ahead of them, he's better to be the lookout and the person that could handle it than Jared. I give Jared no.
Jared's fucking no. But I was actually thinking that's actually a really good idea, because you like, this is really morbid, but like Jared's bigger. He can like cover the kids with Cass if he needs to.
Yes.
So that's a good idea.
Yeah. Cover. I like
we're
just going to use him as cover.
Yeah. Well, he's got no shoes on. He's freaking out. Shoes? What are shoes? Shut up. He's freaking out. Where are they supposed to be? So they're grabbing.
I'm putting them in Texas because that's where she was talking about like the house and everything like that. So I looked up, I'm going to put it where they're coming. The way I'm starting out the story is they're coming from like a trip to the family business beer company. So it's like one of the things, like one of their, so it's the mom and the kids, the dad's still back in Germany. So they like wanted to do this, like, bucket list trip or whatever. They're all big Supernatural fans. So they're like coming back from family business beer company. I guess they're going to go to their Airbnb or whatever. And she's like following the directions or whatever. And on a stretch of road, and then boom, she sees this group on the side brakes. She's like, no, that can't be those can't be who I think they are. And then got the kids getting all excited about, oh my God, it's Sam and Dean and Cass and then they see all the extras, Jared and Jensen and the kids there too. So I'm just reading this now. So they're going to bump into Castiel's back at the Ackles house with the Ackles babies. Dean and Jensen have gone to go get Jared. So they're going to bump into Jared, Jensen, and Dean and Sam. How I had it was, that's not how I read it. So then that might make more sense. So you're saying the kids are still at Jensen's. Is that right? Or at Jared's?
So I'm just looking through these details.
Yes, please show me, highlight so that I can see.
Okay, hang on a minute. Okay, so Cass stays with Jensen's kids. Jensen, Sam, and Dean take the boat. I didn't even know Jensen had a boat. But all right.
I didn't know either, and I was like, what?
I don't think they have a boat. So yeah, Jensen, Sam, and Dean take the boat to go get Jared. And then
but look, when they arrive at his house, they already are under attack.
Help them all escape. Who's all of them? Right.
Yes, that's what
Help them all escape. No, and that was because the kids and Jen were supposed to be there, and we binned them straight off. We were like, fucking no, that's too many characters. Now they're on foot, running, barely escaping, happen to turn up somewhere on a street in the middle of the night.
Okay.
So then you've got
I have Cass in there, so I got to take Cass out.
You have Cass and the Ackles kids in there, but then what you're going to have to do is you've got to put in the car initially Jared, Jensen, Sam, and Dean. They've got to go in the car initially. Mm-hmm. Then Dean's going to have an argument with, and her kids are in the car as well. And then Dean's going to they're going to row about who's driving. And then you've got kids in the middle row. It's a crazy drive to the Ackles house with a wild demon car chase. You guys make it demon-proof the house, and your kids have to stay with the lot.
And that's where everybody, and then that's where, so this is at Jensen's house, right? Like that's what's happening. Like,
yeah.
Okay. So if I'm getting it correct, everything hits the fan at Jensen's initially with the demons and everybody touching down there, right? Yeah. They figure stuff out. At least they get rid of the demons for the time being. I don't know if they kill them or whatever,
They get them out of the house.
Okay. And then
maybe they do does the angel sigil, the blood angel sigils, do they work on demons as well? I can't remember.
No. I mean, they could do they could just do the Latin thing and maybe exorcise them out for the time being of whatever body they're possessing. So maybe they could do that. And then maybe to keep it.
Maybe the demons don't come in the Ackles house. Maybe there's like that's how this all kicks off. There's a noise. It's weird. Jensen's like, kids are gone. Weapon and protect the kids without a weapon. Kids are gone. And then in true Winchester style, Sam, Dean, and Cash just burst down the fucking door and we're like, where's the salt? And just like salt light into the house. So the demons never get into the Ackles place.
Okay.
They're kept out.
Okay.
And then that's why they can't take the car, because the demons are outside. So they fuck off in the boat across the fucking lake to where Jared lives. I don't know. It's AU. We don't know. Do that. And then they run out of Jared's place. And that's where they bump into our reader in the car. Everybody gets in the car. They go back to the Ackles place where Cass has stayed with the Ackles babies.
Okay.
And then they got to do something.
Okay. So maybe while they're there, maybe while they're still trying to figure out the demon thing, maybe they do something similar to that episode where, I don't know, maybe Jensen has an awesome stereo system or whatever, and they belt out the exorcism over the PA, and they pop out of the bodies or whatever.
Does that send them back to hell? Or does that just kick them out the bodies? I can't remember.
I think it depends on...
Because obviously if you send them back to hell, there's no
reason why there couldn't be more coming, is my thing. If Crowley's opened up this rift or whatever and has them coming through, and maybe they're very like laser focused in this one section, then maybe there's just like a few more that are coming in that are like taking over the spot. Like this could just be the next spot that Crowley's wanting to, maybe the boys have been at this a while, could have been going on for like days or weeks or whatever, or maybe he's just doing it just to fuck around with them, and do it that way. So I'd say we just would have, maybe that's where there's more demons in this new location, a whole new set of demons. Okay, I'm trying to wrap my head around, because now I got to take Cass out of the equation and I got to take the twins out. I can fix that though. I haven't been that far in. Okay, for some reason I thought everybody was there. But then my thing is, I guess I was almost hoping that Cass could do a little bit of popping people in and out of some places for a certain, like he has just a little bit of the ability to do that, but then, he has to recharge or whatever. So that's why I was trying to figure out like how to do that. But I guess if we keep Cass with them, it's just an easy way to get rid of everything. So that's not going to be good. So yeah, keeping Cass back with...
Yeah, because if Cass was with them, they'd have no reason to go back to the Ackles house where the demons are.
Okay. So maybe Jared's house is not too far from where the beer company is. And I do have the reader on the road for a while too. So maybe that's what it is. So then we've got on the road, by the side of the road, it's Jared, Jensen, Sam, and Dean, right? That's it at the side of the road. No kids. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Readers.
And then it's reader and her kids, right? I'm putting down some bullet points so we can try and keep up with this. We were like, we're definitely going to record something, and then actually what we're trying to do is figure out this mess of...
But that's okay. I can use this. I'm just going to like copy, like we'll do this. I'll use this. This will be good.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely keep this part too. Like I'm just going to save this in case we pop it in. Like show like how we're kind of working through the thought process. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That's fine.
Yeah, I think let's use like the PA system thing, because I'm sure I could see Jensen having something like that on his.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's a musician. Like he's gonna have a beefy sound system somewhere.
Yeah, when he's having people over outside, I think he would do that anyway. Like, because I think they have a nice. I don't know what they're. I've actually never watched their. Because she mentions watching their home tours.
Oh, the thingy.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched them all the way through. I've seen little bits of them.
No, I haven't.
So
I haven't. I just I know Dee's watched it, but it's just
I might have to watch it just for reference now if we're using that house that she was talking about. Because that's where it was. I guess she's talking about all the stuff.
Maybe I haven't. Makes me just like a little bit uncomfortable. I don't know, like it just feels like too much, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it's too much. It's seeing too much. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's still people, and I appreciate that like the Ackles did it and stuff, but then look at the backlash it caused. Like they had to move and stuff. Like no.
Is that what happens? Like I didn't realize that was a direct relation to that. Like once they showed, was it because people found out where they were?
I think so, yeah.
Oh wow.
You'd be best off to double check with Dee, but I'm pretty sure that was the situation, that they did that Architect Digest sort of like house tour, and then they moved after that. Okay. And I'm pretty sure it's because like fans found out where they lived and started being like really creepy. Jensen head to Jared's place. Vote. Question mark. And it's such a weirdly specific detail that I like it. You know?
I mean, she did say it was a dream. So I wonder, like, part of this came from like a dream aspect. So I wonder if that was that might have been part of her dream. Like it was a boat. And I'm just like, what boat? Like, do they have a pond? Like what are they? How are they? How close are they? How are they connected? What's going on?
I think that's part of the dream aspect, and you might have to take a little bit of liberties with that, because I'm pretty sure like the Padalecki's live on basically a farm, don't they? They have like a fucking shit ton of land and like animals.
I will go with the boat. We will do that. We will do boat.
I would take artistic license. Yeah. But then the boat is like definitely the thing, because otherwise they'd just be able to leave, wouldn't they? So they've like secured the mansion. I don't think the Ackles live in an actual mansion. I think it's probably just a big house.
Right. So they can't take the boat back. So does that mean something happens to the boat?
Well, I think from reading the thing, upon recognizing the celebrities saying, "Okay, I'll drive you guys, but if this rental gets so much as a scratch, you're paying." I love it. Yeah, I think they get to the Pad's place and the demons are already there. So maybe they can't get back out the way they got in.
Yeah, I would say have something happen to the boat. Like maybe the demons do something to the boat so they can't get back. So I'll figure that part out. But yeah, I want to make the boat not a thing anymore. Like once we get there.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know. Maybe they crash in their panic. Maybe Dean tries to take the wheel because he can't help.
Yeah,
he can't deal with not being in control.
I could see him messing that up. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Maybe they argue.
Yeah, maybe.
Should Dean and Jensen arguing just be a thing?
I think that maybe they would argue. Who's going to kick the door in? That would be such a great con reference as well. Who's going to kick the door in?
Oh, God.
He's already at boat trashed.
God, I feel like Dean would say something to Jensen like, you can't Dean better than me or something.
Oh my God, what did you have in your Winchester thing about something like being the real deal or something? I gotta go pull that up now. I have to go pull that up. God, I haven't looked at Winchester in so long.
I know. I was going to do the whole like customer service thing, but then I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that anymore. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, prototype. Their name is Dean Winchester. What are you doing? Why do those two painted whores? Yeah, like, oh gosh, yeah. Dean calls Jensen a painted whore. That would be so good. Yeah, grab some stuff from your iWincest stuff.
Okay. Oh goodness.
Absolutely.
Gotta write you can't Dean better than me. I gotta write that down. I can't forget that.
I'm just reading back through this and remembering how much I liked it. Padalecki. Yeah, no, just because that's a show reference and an iWin reference. That's great. Yeah, we should definitely do that. So where am I now? Boat trashed in. So the boat's no longer a thing.
Yeah, I just don't want the boat to be a thing. No more boat.
Okay. So then we've got Sam, Dean, Jay to escape from. Oh shit! What about the dogs?
See, that's why I feel like we have to have oh God, I don't know.
You have to draw the line somewhere.
I almost feel like the dogs shouldn't, like, almost like Jen should be somewhere with like everybody. You know what I mean? Like, just they're on a trip or something and they've gone to see family or something, because I don't want to have dogs to be a thing too.
Maybe Jared's gonna be, is this gonna be set like modern times? Like, because like maybe Jared's got like a week of really intense filming coming up for Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Like really long shifts or whatever, you know, they've got to do like a lot of night shoots and stuff, and it's going to be really intense. So Jen's like, look, okay, me and the kids and the dogs are going to go like stay with your parents for a week, just do your fucking thing, you know. So all you have to worry about is going to work and feeding yourself. I feel like that's the kind of thing she would do. He's incompetent.
Oh God, I'm trying to think if they get away with it. So there's no reason why the timeline that's happening with Sam and Dean has to necessarily match up with the timeline. You know what I mean? It could be so weird and out there that
you can totally do. Yeah, you can pull Sam and Dean from anywhere. You could set this anywhere.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. Like it almost be like a say season 12, like Sam and Dean, but like this is like present day, like where they're already kind of like, you know, over and done.
Do you know what would be fun? If you set it as, so you've got Sam and Dean in their universe. If you set it in our universe where Jared and Jansen play Sam and Dean, and you set it before the wives and kids when they lived in Vancouver, because then you'd have Sam and Dean, the real Sam and Dean, and Jared and Jensen who play Sam and Dean. That would probably be really funny.
Oh my gosh. Could I? Okay.
You don't have to. Like, she's being fairly specific in what she wants to see here. And if you're writing this for her, let's go with hers. But I'm just like, that would be funny.
Yeah.
Because I could just see something like Dean being like, wait, so you're us, you play us, and like being some kind of like, let's raid the prop department or something, you know, for like guns or like blades or whatever. Like, oh, they have silver knives there, we could go there and get them.
We
or
could
like
definitely
Holy
do
War
that
even.
at some. I think that'd be fun at some point. That'd be a fun little. That could be a fun little short thing, right? That doesn't have to be like a really. It could just be like them popping in and seeing what almost like what might have happened if they'd all synced up, like at that in the French Mistake at some point, and there was crossover, but they were all there together, kind of thing, but further back.
That would be fun.
Yeah, be a lot of stuff.
And then you eliminate like 2/3 of the fucking cast list. No wives, no children. Easy.
Yeah, but we could definitely. I mean, I can figure out a way to get rid of the kids and stuff. I like that idea about Jen just being like, look, you just need some time to prep whatever you're doing. So here you go. But then do I give, so Jared doesn't have the long hair and Sam does? That could be a thing. Dean could be like, that's the look.
Season 8. Season 8. Yeah. Season 8, Sam and Dean at present day. Because Sam could be like, what the fuck, man? What have you done? What? Oh, yeah, because then if you did it present day, Jensen would have long hair and Dean would have short hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a complete reversal. They wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't know what to do with that. They'd be so confused.
You have to set it. You have to set it when Jensen was growing out his hair and beard for Soldier Boy, because Jared had already cut his hair by that point.
Well, it's already still. Even now, if I did it now, it's still long, right? Like it's still pretty long.
Oh yeah, I'm just like, if you wanted to go maximum comedy, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Because that's like Jared cut his hair quite short.
Do you want to do the beard too? Then
you could do, because Dean would be like, "What the fuck? What is this? What did you do,
dude? The last time we left you, you guys are good."
Yeah. Oh my god, that would be
what happened to my painted whore? That's what he could say. Like, what happened to my painted whore?
Oh my god, that would be really funny.
Okay.
Yeah, like maybe like, yeah. So because that would work, because he's cut his hair, and then like, you know, Jensen was growing out his stuff. That would be so funny. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, I want to see them act this. I just want it to be a skit. I want to see it. That's great.
Yeah, so we'll do season 8. We'll do season 8 Tim and Dean, and we'll do Walker Jensen prepping for Soldier Boy with the long hair and the beard. And we'll just artistic license. It doesn't matter where he was at the time. It's here. It's here in Texas, and we're gonna pretend COVID was never a thing. And
we don't have to look at COVID. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You don't have to. That's great. No. So what else? What else have they got that they really want?
So I just have to do again, like the interaction. So now that I know who's in the van, that's a little bit easier. So we have the kids. Okay, so then that changes. Do we still have Jensen and Dean in the back, Sam in the front, and Jared in the middle with the kids? Because it's just better to just try to keep Jared safe than have him get involved in any of the cover the kids. Jared, just cover the kids because Cass will be there. Okay.
Yeah, probably. Maybe you put Jensen in the front because he's going to direct back to his house where his kids are. Dean's in the back to cover any sort of, because she mentions a car chase, doesn't she?
She does, yeah.
Yeah. So Dean's in the back trying to take out some of the demons in the chase, and then we put Sam in the middle because
oh god, what if he does break the glass and then she's like, what are you doing? It's for rental.
yes, absolutely do that. Have them have the conversation about this is a rental. If you scratch it, you're paying for it. And then just have Dean just smash the back windscreen out so he can get a clear shot.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me find that line because I'll put a thing on it. If this rental gets so much as a scratch. Have Dean smash the back window out. Yes, that's great. Okay, so where are we now? So then we've got Jensen in the directions.
That's also probably where he can kind of give her the lowdown of what actually happened back at the house. So that could be his opportunity to explain what's going on. Dean's in the back.
Oh shit, where's Sam? We forgot about Sam.
We could put Jared on one end and Sam on the other, and then the kids in the middle.
Yeah.
So that works.
Because then there's a little bit of opportunity to be like, the fuck have you done?
Yeah.
Or maybe, are we going to set this in an AU where Jared and Jensen have played Sam and Dean in Supernaturals over, or are we going to set it where they have no idea what's happening?
Well, I'm still thinking it could be where they're done with the show. Again, if we take a little bit of artistic license, there's no reason that something couldn't have happened that wasn't necessarily in the show. Do you know what I mean? Like how they do a lot.
Yeah.
Like they do those supernatural books where they'll take some time out and they'll explain a hunt that they were on that you never read about. So it could be something that was happening. I think, let me think about season 8. So season 8 was Purgatory. What was going on? Okay, so that was when Crowley was. Wasn't he trying to figure out what was going on with the tablets? So
yeah,
that would be something we could do. I don't know if there might not have been a rift then, but we could probably figure something out. Some time travel thing that happened. Maybe they tried to do, because they did some sort of weird thing back in season 6. So maybe they tried to do something again to get them out of a situation with Crowley, some sort of spell or whatever, and it didn't work the way they wanted, and they ended up back. Maybe they ended up back there. Maybe they just ended up back here.
Because
it'd be 2 years difference from season 6 to season 8. So that's
it could even have been a thing that Cass did, because it was Balthazar that threw them into our world in the French Mistake, wasn't it? So you could maybe take a bit of artistic license that it's and all angels can do.
And Cass messed up again or something, because Cass usually messes up and then he has to hear about it. So we could always do a Cass messed up thing.
So maybe Cass was just trying to get them away, but accidentally put them in our universe.
Yeah.
That doesn't solve the demon problem though.
It does if it was left open. So we could just go with that. We'll just go with that.
Yeah. Cass was trying to get them out, but wasn't Cass having issues in season 8?
Cass always having issues. Let me look at that. Let me look at my list.
All I can think about is fucking season 9 and that little drawing of being like, Dean's turning into a demon. Cass is losing his grace. I've got to be the strong one this season.
So Goodbye Stranger Taxi Driver. So it's when, so he was dealing with the angel situation.
Was it the angel rebellion?
Yeah. And I think they were relying on that's when they first meet Metatron too, right? Yeah. So it could be a whole thing where maybe his circuits are still a little fried and he's trying to figure this out.
He's having some trouble with his grace then.
Yeah.
And that's why it's gone so wrong. Yeah. And then you can have the ending being that they're going to figure out a spell or something to close the rift, send Sam, Dean and Cass back. Like they're going to take out the demons in our world and then they're gone. Because I think hell probably covers all known universes, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I don't think each one has its own. So you can have hell just being like, it covers all of them. So they're going to deal with the demons that followed Cass through, or Cass and the boys through. And then that's going to be, they're going to need to set up a spell to send Sam, Dean and Cass back to where they're supposed to be. And then you just have like Rita and Jared and Jensen being like, well, that was fucking weird. End scene. No, probably do something slightly more nuanced than that. That's how I would end it. I would just have them standing around like I don't know, like I would be visiting like a car park at night.
Well, at this point it's the ride, right? So we're just gonna take everybody for a ride and just have some fun. Supernatural can be have a lot of plot holes. So if we have some plot holes, it's okay.
That's it, isn't it?
We can do that.
It's not plot holes, it's opportunities for your reader to use their imagination. I can just see them kind of just like standing around, visiting either a damp car park at night or an abandoned building of some variety. Those seem to be the choices. And they're like, the rift is closed. Sam, Dean, and Cass have gone through it. The rift is closed, and then they're just kind of standing around going, well, that was weird. And then you're like, well, where do we go from here? But then they're like, end scene, because that's too much plot. Then you have to just be like, an end scene. Do they help Rita get back to Germany? Like, what do they do now? Like, they owe her their life. What's going to happen? Are they ever going to tell anybody? But that's for the reader to imagine after.
I think
after the fact.
I think that's a good way to go. Well, I'll figure it out. Or else this is going to be a really long one. This is good. This is helpful, because I was like, there's too many people. What's going on?
Immediately we need to bin off like half of the cast immediately.
Okay, I think this is doable. So I'll work on it a little bit more, and I will let Anna know. I may be changing what I sent you, so just go along with it. I had some discussions, so we'll figure it out. But hopefully then by the next time we meet, and we record, I should have a little bit more done, and then maybe we can piece some bits together. Like, okay, here's where we started, here's where I ended up, kind of thing. So we can do that. And we can add that to the episode for the fan stuff. So I think this will be fun.
Okay, so this is the part of most podcasts where they go, and our podcast today is sponsored by blah, blah, blah. We're not sponsored. We do this purely for the love of the game. But what we do want to do is there's some causes that we want to highlight places that we want to signpost people to on issues that mean a lot to us. So one of the first things that we want to highlight is the ongoing, you could call it a conflict. I think it's more accurate to say the Russian invasion of the Ukraine. It's ongoing. It's fallen out of media spotlight now, but, there are thousands of people still stuck in places in the Ukraine, lots and lots of people still affected. So there's 3 different charities we want to bring attention to for this one. The first one is World Central Kitchen, which is exactly as it sounds, charity that helps feed people all around the world. They're focusing a lot of their attention on the Ukraine right now because, as you know, with war, with conflict comes supply disruption. People are struggling for food, people are struggling for water, all things like that. So that's what World Central Kitchen is doing. They're there, they're on the ground, they're helping to feed people who are trapped in the Ukraine at the moment. The second cause we want to highlight for this one is Kids Save, which is, again, a charity that is, international, but they're also focusing a lot of attention on the Ukraine. They're trying to evacuate civilians, they're trying to help children and families, rescue them, get them out of conflict zones, get them out of danger, get them to other European countries that are safer to be in. So that's the second charity we want to highlight. And the third one that we want to highlight for exclusively for the Ukraine is Global Giving's Ukraine Crisis Relief Fund, which is a sort of more like a fundraiser rather than a charity like the other two, sort of like a Just Giving or a GoFundMe, but on a global scale. And again, that money's being divided up into where it's needed the most in the Ukraine. Whatever areas are needing the most, they're just trying to pull money, pull resources to help the families, the people that are trapped, isolated, and massively affected by this invasion. Again, as we've seen in recent weeks, it's fallen out of the media. It's not making the top headlines anymore, but that doesn't mean it's not still really important. It doesn't mean that there aren't still people dying daily, hugely affected by this invasion that would really benefit if you can help these charities. Your money's going to a good cause. So links for those will be in the descriptions.
And then on my end, just because the focus being more in the US and how crazy things are here in general over the past, I know it seems like forever, but things are really taking a turn for the worse, and it's just very apparent. So in my mind, my viewpoint for those in the US, educate yourself, find ways to take action. 2 of the main charities, organizations focus on ending gun violence and advocating for gun regulations in your state, whichever state you live in. Learn more about what's happening and how you can help end this tragedy that just becomes so numbing to the country that I live in. So for one, it's Moms Demand Action, and another is Sandy Hook Promise. And then in terms of educating, just learning how to support basic human rights. I just picked American Civil Liberties Union because it really covers the gamut: women's rights, LGBTQ, anything you need to learn about, make yourself knowledgeable, understand what's happening, take action, and the way you can take action through voting. So go to vote.gov, learn the system, learn what you need to do if you're not already registered to vote, and make sure your voice is heard that way.
Yep. So that would be those ones. And then the final sort of cause that we were wanting to highlight right now, and believe you me, guys, we've gone over and over this. We genuinely, neither of us know where to put our voices, where they're going to be the loudest, the most effective. But this one, for me personally, being a member of the LGBTQ community, identifying as a queer person, it's scary right now. It is. It feels like, we're really on the brink of something that's going to be horrifically damaging to our community. And I don't want to focus on the bigger movements, the bigger charities that are, you know, maybe dealing with things from a legal standpoint and fighting for our rights that way. I want to bring it down to the individual people that are being affected. So I have 2 charities to promote for this one. I have one based in the UK, which is Switchboard LGBT, and one based in the US, which is the Trevor Project. My apologies. They're both very similar in nature, that they are sort of crisis helplines for LGBTQ plus people who feel that they need to speak with somebody, who need that, you know, sort of immediate help and assistance. So they're both that kind of thing. You can talk to people over the phone, you can web chat with people, you know, they're safe spaces for anything that you might need help with if you are LGBTQ plus and you find yourself struggling. I did look extensively. There doesn't seem to be one single charity, one single organization that's doing something internationally. I can only assume this is because the challenges faced by the community vary massively from country to country. But the Trevor Project does have some resources for international LGBTQ plus youth. So I'll be including a link directly to that as well. Again, there's not any one place you can go from anywhere in the world, but it's certainly a start if you are outside of the UK and the US and you need help. You know, it really does feel like everybody's against us at the moment, and the only thing we can do is band together and protect each other. If you need help, please reach out to one of these charities. They will be there. They will support you.
I just wanted to preface before I read the fan fiction that I wrote months ago that there are some references to guns and, of course, some gun violence. And again, it is fiction, but I know that with everything that's been going on in the United States and has continued to go on over the years, I know we can sometimes be numb to the fact that in this great country that we live in, quote unquote great, a lot of these things are triggering and are just a constant in everyone's lives now. So though this is fiction, I just wanted to preface that I do understand the sensitivity to some of the matter that's discussed. And after speaking to Carly a little bit about different things that have been going on in the country here and just all over the world in general, we are going to start to make some suggestions for different organizations, causes that you might want to learn a little bit more about in terms of gun control, gun safety, LGBTQ plus rights, women's rights, so many different things that are slowly being attacked and whittled away in society, it feels like, at least from my perspective, and I know from Carly's as well. So, again, you know, reading this actually now, I am just seeing a lot of things that I know might be hurtful, sensitive, triggering to someone who might be listening or reads the fiction. So again, just trying to, as everyone else is, navigate my way through the crazy and find some solace in entertainment and the boys. I do hope if you do read or listen that it isn't triggering for you. So, thank you. Only in My Dreams by Drasna. Rating teen and up. No archive warnings apply. Fandom is supernatural. Characters Dean Winchester, Sam Winchester, Castiel, Jensen Ackles, Jared Padalecki. Additional tags: fanfic request, fiction collides with reality, alternate universe, time travel, crack. Summary: The boys and Castiel escape through a time rip only to land in our universe, colliding with a supernatural-loving family and Jensen and Jared in Austin, Texas. For Anna, a fanfic request based on quite a dream. Notes. A fun little piece of crazy based on a request by a reader, Anna, from Germany. Anna reached out to me after listening to the podcast, Idling in the Impala, that I produce with Carly Karma. Anna had a ton of great ideas, which was based off a dream she had after watching a few Jensen videos. It was only the second day since the airplane had touched down from Germany onto the tarmac in Texas. Jet lag be damned. You and the kids had piled into the rented minivan that afternoon and made it to the Family Business Beer Company. It had been a fun evening, enjoying the outdoor scenery and mild temperature, partaking in trivia night, the kids polishing off a pizza, and you tasting a flight of ale. Scratch that off your bucket list. Even if you all hadn't been lucky enough to spot Jensen or Baby at the establishment, it was still a thrill for the whole family. Well, minus the husband who had to hold your own family business down, almost 9,000 kilometers away. Your eldest, 13, was still on a rant about one of the trivia answers. They got it wrong. The weapons he never got to use out of the trunk were the throwing stars. It was in the finale. Well, some people have blocked that episode from their memory for good reason, so we'll give them a little pass this time, huh? You spot him shrugging in the rear-view mirror. He mumbled. Dean wouldn't give them a pass. It was a valid argument. The rush and adrenaline of the day were taking a collective toll on the three of you. The sun had set. You wished you'd gotten a chance to see more of the prairie expanse on the isolated road before you made your way into the busier section of Dripping Springs, Texas. That would have to wait until tomorrow. A good 10 minutes into the drive back, eyelids heavy, a wave of exhaustion washed over you. What the? You blinked in rapid succession at the view out of your windshield. You were seeing double, hallucinating. That had to be the explanation for the group of people your headlights spotted up ahead on the side of the road. Your foot hit the brake pedal hard on reflex. Ma! Your kids screamed in unison. Then your daughter, all of 10 years old, piped up from behind your seat. It's Sam and Dean. 2 seatbelts unclicked. They pushed into the backs of the front seats. Fingers pointed at the group of people. You should have reprimanded them about unbuckling, but under the circumstances, you were just as dumbstruck as they were. Oh, wow, your son crooned. Yes, it indeed appeared as if the fictional characters were leading 2 men straight at your car. If that wasn't crazy enough, there was the identity of the others with them. Ma? Your son asked. Yeah? You shook your head, trying to shake yourself out of the dream you more than likely were in. I think Jensen and Jared are with them. I think so too. There was no need to think. You'd recognize them anywhere, even if Jared now sported a haircut shorter than Jensen, who was a mop top of flippy bangs complete with a long beard. You'd recognize them even covered in blood, which unfortunately, they all were. Your heart raced to see they all held a weapon of some kind in their hurried approach to the vehicle. Wait, that's impossible, your daughter started. Before you could answer, you heard the side door of the minivan swoosh open. Your son had taken it upon himself to yell out to the band of heroes. Hey! He waved with glee. Ma'am? Sam knocked with a hurried urgency on the driver's side window. The glass whirred down. You could have sworn you hadn't moved, yet found your finger on the button responsible for the window. Yes? Your voice creaked out of your throat. Would it be possible if we... He began with the puppy dog expression you'd seen countless times on screen. He readjusted the duffel bag slung over a shoulder. Dean appeared out of nowhere, crowding the tiny open space left by your rolled-down window with another large body. We need to get you, he gruffed out, noting your 2 kids in the middle back row, all of you out of here, pronto. I'm sorry. It was Jensen's turn to speak and have you whirl your head to the right of the vehicle. He and Jared were standing, out of breath, wide-eyed. I gotta get back home to my kids before... We'll explain on the way. Dean huffed and tried your door handle. Probably best if I drive. You felt your brow furrow. Why is that? Look, this is gonna sound crazy, Sam piped in. But there's a very high likelihood that we'll be ambushed by, well, vampires? Your son was all smiles as he folded his legs up onto the seat so Jared could squeeze past him and sit directly behind you. Werewolves? Your daughter did not look as enthusiastic, squished between your son and Jared. Sam and Dean looked at them, a little stunned, and said in unison, Demons. You've seen the show then. Jared gave you a small nod in thanks when your eyes met in the rearview mirror. You all are the reason we're in Texas to begin with. You answered, giving each man a quick glance. Jensen had already situated himself in the shotgun seat next to you. I can drive you wherever you need to go. You nodded with confidence. Dean chuckled. Listen, ma'am, we're not talking about a pleasant Sunday drive here. Your stare back at him was complete with pursed lips. I've got it. Besides, it's a rental. I'm the only one that should be driving it. You ever been in a high-speed chase before? Dean sassed. You ever driven on the Autobahn before? You sassed back. Dean opened his mouth, thought for a second, then closed it. We're from Germany, your daughter explained with a proud grin. That's so cool. Jared smiled at the little girl next to him. Probably best you don't cross Ma. Your son peeked between the front seats at Dean. Da never would. Dean, Sam huffed. Let's get them and us out of here. Not worry about the how, but the now. His little head tilt motioned to the other side of the minivan, where he headed with an urgent stroll. Fine, Dean murmured. Thanks for the ride, he added. You nodded. No problem, then pointed at your children. Make sure those seatbelts are back on or we're not going anywhere. When all was said and done, and everyone was in the van, Dean had put himself in the very back, and Sam bookended the middle row with his mirror image. Keep heading west. Jensen sat leaning forward and gripped the dash. What happened? You tapped on the screen and turned off the GPS, so as not to be distracted from the directions of your human navigator. Jensen sighed. I was at the house, settling in for the night after putting the twins to bed. Jensen was ready to watch some mindless television for a couple of hours. With Dee and JJ out of town on a mother-daughter adventure, one would think the goings-on in the house would have been a little calmer. But Arrow and Zepp only seemed more determined to make up for the 2 missing family members and exhaust dear old Dad. The kids and he had survived their first full day unattended. No broken bones, no stomach aches. A little more sugar in their system than usual, but Dee didn't need to know about that. He sighed and took in the quiet before turning on the television. The silenced phone on the coffee table lit up with a call from Jared. He let it go to voicemail, expecting his friend would rub in how nice it was to be all by himself at home. He'd remind Jensen how Jen had packed up the kids and the dogs and headed to visit family in Idaho so he could prep for the extensive Walker shoot happening that week. Jensen ran fingers through his way too long hair and scratched at the itchy beard that would impress a recluse hiding from civilization for decades. He hoped the physical transformation playing Soldier Boy was going to be worth it. He gazed through the wall of sliding glass doors, offering a panoramic view of the backyard. Or it would be a beautiful view if the sun was still out. The moonlight shimmered and bounced atop ripples of water in the pool. He did a double take and squinted at a corner by the fence. A shadow, a shift. Some movement had gotten his attention. Just as suddenly, it stopped. His mind raced, playing the often visited scenario over in his head. If there was danger, would he have time to go and get one of the rifles out of the gun safe before going to the twins' rooms? Would he have to rush to them without a weapon and use his bare hands to fight off an invader? He reasoned he might be up for the challenge. After all, he did play Dean Winchester for 15 years. The debate in his head stopped when he caught a large silhouette moving toward the glass. It looked like a small group of people. Then, one of the floodlights clicked on and haloed the people outside. "Holy shit," he murmured. "No way." Any other person would have suspected their brain had finally admitted defeat, had cracked, fissured because of what was staring back at him. But, he reasoned, being on Supernatural for as long as he had made even the extraordinary seem plausible. Jensen opened the sliding door and gave the 3 males plowing their way into the living room a wide berth. "We had to have been dumped in the wrong place," Dean Winchester bellowed, eyes wide and frantic as he canvassed the area with his gaze. "Cass, did you mess up the locating part of the frickin' spell too?" "No, Dean, I didn't." Cass sighed and also surveyed the surroundings. The cold, focused stare of his blue eyes fell on Jensen. "Your doppelganger is right there." He lifted a stiff arm to point with an angel blade. Dean frowned. "Are you the repair guy?" Jensen frowned back. "No. What the hell are you doing here? What are all of you doing here?" "You're Jensen Ackles?" Dean blinked in disbelief. Jensen nodded. Sam huffed. "Look, I'm guessing you play this guy?" He pointed over to his brother. "In a show called Supernatural?" Another nod. "So, you know about Crowley?" "Yeah." "Well, the smarmy bastard trapped us in Rufus's cabin, surrounded by demons. The only way out was a spell by Mr. Double Agent Angel here," Dean rambled, peering through the windows, gun locked and loaded at his side. "The limited ingredients we could scrounge up bought us a ticket to an alternate universe. And a lock of Dean's hair was an ingredient that got us near his facsimile in this universe." Cass's brow wrinkled with worry. "Unfortunately, we think some demons made it through the time rip as well, before it closed." "Who's here in this house with you?" Sam asked. My kids." The words trickled out of Jensen's mouth. Worry and fear for the twins' safety overwhelmed him. "Crap," Dean sighed. "I'm glad we brought the ingredients with us, but we can't just spell hop to another Earth now, hoping we find a closer DNA match that'll be able to get us back home." Sam shook his head. "Not until we take care of the demons. They'll track our scent, and these two, like Crowley's good little bloodhounds, until they find us all or get sent back to hell. Tell me we're lucky, Jensen. And the Padaleski guy is living in Vancouver, like in that other alternate universe we crashed into a couple of years ago." Jensen tried to process all the details. "He's 10 minutes down the road. Well, 5 if I take the boat." "Boat?" Dean and Cass asked in unison. "Guessing his family is there too?" Sam frowned. "Just him this weekend." Aside from Dean. "All right, well, would you call him? Tell him to get his ass over here so we can have the both of you in one spot for safekeeping." Jensen scrambled for his phone and tapped Jared's name. It rang and rang, then went to voicemail. Jensen hung up and was about to try again when he noticed he had a voicemail from Jared. He listened. "Shit. What?" Dean asked. Jensen played the voicemail again, this time on speaker. "Hey, Jay, is that you and some of your asshole buds wreaking havoc out in my field? Funny, dude. Good payback for my last prank, but... Oh, man. What the hell is that? Smoke grenades? Who'd you hire for that? What the... Hey! Hey! Slashing my truck tires is not cool." The faint sound of a doorbell rung in the background. "You better be bringing some tires and bourbon to make up for all this bullshit. How's a guy supposed to relax with all..." Right before the message ends, Jared's loud curses layered atop glass breaking. "We gotta get over there," Jensen yelled, then remembered Arrow and Zepp upstairs. "My kids." Sam held up a hand. "A card-carrying Texan like you has a gun safe, right?" Jensen nodded. "Let's arm up then." Your kids old enough for arts and crafts? Dean asked. Yeah. Good. You're going to introduce them to their new babysitter, Cass, and have them help demon-proof this place. Where's Assault? We took the boat to Jared's. Someone had to go and get all bossy and try to steer. Jensen looked pissed. Stupid place to put a pier, Dean mumbled under his breath, yet was still able to be heard by everyone from all the way in the back. There's no more boat. Jared pursed his lips. But these guys got to the house in time and took care of the 3 demons that invaded my home. We had to escape on foot because of all the damage done to my cars. Not before we found out a dozen more had made it through the time rip, Sam added. He pushed the gas pedal and sped up. Jensen's face displayed his worry for his kids as he checked his phone. My twins are going to need therapy after all this. Arrow just sent me a video of Zepp lining every door and window in the guest house with salt, while Cass is using their finger paints to design a devil's trap on my wife's favorite rug. Jared leaned forward and across the divide to clap his friend's shoulder. At least the paint is washable. Always with the silver linings, Dean huffed. Jared raised both hands and cocked his head toward the back of the minivan. Hey, dude, I was just minding my own damn business. You all are the worst party crashers ever. We'll fix this, Sam stated with conviction. Your daughter studied him. Everything's going to be fine. Oh, I know. You and your brother always save people. She smiled, then blurted. You're not as old as him. A finger crooked over at Jared. Ma, what season are they from? Well, from the sounds of it, Dean's been back from purgatory for a few months, and from the look of Sam's hair, I'd say we're talking season 8. Christ. Dean cocked his rifle. Can we save the TV Guide episode summary for later? We've got company coming up fast. You checked your rearview mirror and saw a truck speeding toward you. Sideswipe is a hell of a lot better than full impact. Time to put your money where your mouth is, Miss Audubon. Dean warned the occupants. Everybody get down. He pointed at your son. You especially. Don't you dare peek that head over the seat. Pinging sounds ricocheted off the shell of the vehicle. Your heart raced even faster than the odometer. Are we being shot at? You yelled back at Dean. Then, a bullet struck the rear pane in answer to your question. A crack bloomed like a flower in the glass. You hugged a tight curve around a bend. Your glance back once the vehicle was on the straight and narrow had you catch Dean shattering the rear window with the butt of his rifle. Hey, that's going to cost me, you scolded. Least of your worries. Besides, I'm pretty sure these 2 male models can foot the bill. Dean fired shots at the truck. Any ideas on how we outrun these guys? I'm counting 4. Maybe not outrun them, but buy us some time and not roll out the red carpet for them back to my house. Jensen gripped the dashboard. Up ahead, a couple of miles. Take the right when the road splits. You nodded. Where's that take us? To a dead end by a collapsed bridge, he answered. What? Sam, Dean interrupted you. We got those supplies? Yep. Sam tapped the duffel on his lap. Gonna need you to get us at least a few minutes lead, ma'am, Dean yelled. Floor it. Yeah, your son exclaimed, head ducked down and protecting his sister like a shield. You can do it, Ma. Everybody, hold on. Channeling all your superhero energy and maternal instincts into one goal, you slammed the pedal and rocketed the minivan toward the destination. It was quite a sight, one that you covered your son and daughter's eyes for, clutching them tightly under your arms like baby chicks to their mother hen. The 3 of you hid behind bushes, as ordered, by the side of the road, along with Jared and Jensen. You held collective breaths as the truck that had been following you, until you'd lost them in your dust 10 minutes ago, careened to a hairpin stop, feet behind the now parked minivan. The 4 demons sprinted out and swarmed it. After a quick peek in the broken rear window, they opened the door. 2 climbed inside, while the other 2 stood watch. They're not here, you heard the muffled announcement from the vehicle's interior. Suddenly, you saw the 2 pairs of hands that belonged to Sam and Dean swing out from under the van and grab any demon ankles they could. Bodies toppled to the ground, dragged between the tires, and disappeared from sight. The brothers sprang out from the other side seconds later, dusting themselves off as the demons inside and under the van, trapped, yelled in defeat. Huh, Jared stated. Spray painting a devil's trap on the roof actually works to cage the bad guys on multiple layers beneath. Good to know. Let's hope we never have to use that little tip, Jensen sighed. Hunched down, you all watched Sam chant in Latin. Smoke trickled out of the van and out from under it. You waited for the all clear so you could get back on the road to Jensen's home as soon as possible. There were still a handful of demons out there. The status of your rental was the least of your worries, but still. So, on top of the spray paint and broken glass, I'm going to have to also try and explain the smell of sulfur when I return that thing. We'll figure it out. Jared squeezed your shoulder. I'm pretty good at tall tales. It won't be long before the rest circle back this way. Dean pulled out a flask from his duffel bag and tossed it to Sam. It had the sign of the cross etched in the metal. Cass, watch my back while I head outside to turn the pool into a holy sauna, would ya? Sam asked. Castiel nodded, following him out the sliding doors. You twiddled your thumbs, sitting on the stool in front of the bar counter. This pool house was as big as your home back in Germany. You could hear Jared and Jensen talking to all the kids in the only bedroom without any windows. Your children were given orders to watch the twins. From the sounds of it, they would be barricading themselves in there until the coast was clear. This was not the vacation we signed up for. You shook your head, hands shaking. Hey, don't worry. We got this. And it's all because of you. Dean offered you another flask, this one pulled from his inside jacket pocket, after taking a sip himself. We were lucky you stopped and helped us out. He winked. And you're an awesome getaway driver. He tilted his chin in your direction. The speaker system all ready to play our greatest hits? You nodded, your eyes crisscrossing as the alcohol seared its way down your throat. Your finger was at the ready to blare Sam's recorded exorcism once the remaining demons descended on the home. Good. Your son is really a huge fan of us, huh? Oh, absolutely. The whole family is. Dean beamed with pride. Well, he's an honorary hunter for remembering what we did years ago to send a bunch of demons back to hell when we were trapped at a police station. When all's said and done, just tell him to stay in school and get good grades. That will be thanks enough for me. So, Dean whispered, is Jensen going through some stuff? What do you mean? The hair? The beard? Dude's looking rough. You wished you could laugh. Your son had been disappointed, even though the plan he recommended had gone off without a hitch. He'd run out of the room, his sister and the twins in tow, only to see that the bodies of the vessels were awake, dazed, and relatively unscathed after the demons had been summarily extracted. You were relieved that decades of therapy might have been averted with nary a drop of blood spilt. Sam and Dean conversed in the corner with Cass for some time, preparing the spell ingredients, while Jared and Jensen checked on the handful of people now in Jensen's living room. So, Sam rubbed his hands together, announcing to you and your kids on his approach. We'll need to try and get these people back to where they came from, along with ourselves. Dean clapped your son on the shoulder. You did great, kid. He pointed to each child individually. Every one of you did awesome. Bravest kids I've ever seen. I was also impressed by your assault line, Zeppelin. And Arrow, you are a very good finger painter. Cass's baritone complimented the youngest ones in the group. So you're just going to drag all these people along with you through a portal and hope you make it back to your time and place? Jensen asked. Hey, if you got a better idea, we're all ears. Dean raised his hands. Wish we could do more to help. Jared shrugged. Just make sure this little lady's rental is paid for. That bill is going to pack a wallop. Jensen smiled. No worries there. We'll take care of the heroes left behind. Once Sam, Dean, and Cass had left with their charges, you'd stayed to help clean up. You even took over the kitchen and made everyone a meal, trying to relax and let the evening's events process in your head. Jensen offered you and the kids use of the guest room back in the main house. There was even mention of letting you soak in the silver bathtub you had seen on the video house tour. Your son nibbled on a sandwich off by himself, staring at the corner where the hunters had disappeared. You headed over and sat close to him. Are you all right? Yeah, he huffed. You ruffled the hair on top of his head. What? I just wish we could have warned them. Cass, Dean, and Sam. You know, about what happens. Jensen spoke, jolting the both of you to his presence. Let's hope their universe can play our Blu-rays. He smiled. I stashed a few Supernatural seasons in Dean's duffel, along with a note. Jared laughed. You Back to the Future'd him? Hey, that's what he gets for telling me I couldn't out-Dean him. Jensen sighed. Honestly, I don't think anyone wants those two to have some happy any more than Jared and I do, considering all they've done for us. I mean, saving us tonight, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Jared raised a glass. To Sam and Dean. And Cass, your daughter piped in. Yep, you added, to the motley crew of heroes. End notes. Some excerpts from Anna's request. There were a ton of great ideas, so you can pop in some scenes using your own imagination and Anna's blueprint. Like the crazy car chase, forcing Jared and Sam to squeeze with the kids in the back if they want the ride. Dean not trusting the reader to be able to drive so well, a couple dumbass remarks when she puts him into his place, while the kids are like, yeah, you better don't cross Ma. Dad never would dare to. And then really going fast. I am from Germany. Let's just say, no speed limit on the Autobahn. I usually don't drive faster than 150 kilometers per hour, but many here go more than 200. Dean's face when she hits the gas pedal. Or, upon arriving, kind of lost in the garage, wondering whether to follow the group inside or just better get going to the Airbnb with the kids to not get involved in Winchester shit. And then, like all the little things upon arrival, like taking care of all the cuts and bruises, who is cooking dinner for such a crowd that the kids like, and the vegan mom, and where would everyone camp out? The kids all bunking together and having a blast, or would they be scared? Now that we started chatting about it, all these funny scenes start popping up in my head, like at some point Sam and Dean looking at each other and saying, wow, the Sam lookalike is the chaos one, and the other one is responsible. How can that be? Or I could so see my 13-year-old boy fanboying all over Dean, annoying him about the weapons and if he could try to shoot, and Dean being like really annoyed, like, boy, this is real. It can get you killed. Put your head down. And he would be like, I know, but it's so cool. And Jensen trying to give directions from the back seat while all are squished together with a bunch of kids. Or before letting them get in the car, upon recognizing the celebrities saying like, okay, I'll drive you guys, but if this rental gets so much as a scratch, you are paying. If it starts at the road, I also would love to see a flashback of Jensen at home when the first attack starts and Sam and Dean and Cass come in to save the day. Or Jensen taking them to Jared's house but by speedboat. Oh, and Dean seeing baby in Jensen's garage. And then trying out that silver bathtub. Again, thanks to Anna for the fanfic request. It was a lot of fun to write.
Oh, while I've got you as well. I saw you with the season 8 hair in Anna's fic. I saw that. I was going to comment on it. And by the time I got to the end of the fic, I'd forgotten I was going to comment on it. But I saw it. I was like, Oh hell yeah, season 8. Yeah.
Well, we talked about that, right? We were trying to figure
good.
out like the season and stuff
Right.
if we were going to time travel. I'm like, well, let me just use season 8. So that's what I did with that one. So it made more sense. Yeah, of course. And can you imagine? Like, I'm trying to really think of how they look. Like, there should be like a season, like season 8 current Sam. Maybe I'll have to make something like season 8 current Sam, and then season 8 Dean, and Jensen preparing for Soldier Boy with with the hair and the beard that's like almost down to his pecs.
I did see that. He's like, is he okay? It was great. It was great. It was so good. Like, it took me a little while to get into it because it was like the self-insert and then the self-insert, isn't there? And there was just a bit too self-insert for me.
There's a lot of self-insert.
Like, okay. Yeah, but I was like, I said to my husband, I was like, look, no, I have to read this because I'm woefully underprepared for the podcast and it's become a thing. But if I turn up to this one and be like, hi, I haven't read it, that's going to look terrible. So I was like, you got to give me like 20 minutes to read this. And then I got to the end of it and I was like, after I got past the first bit, that was laugh out loud funny and I really fucking enjoyed it. I was so good.
That's good. No, I was kind of a little, because there was just, in my mind at the end of the day, there's no way to, she had so many great ideas. There's no way to put everything in. And I'm like, I really wanted it to have more of like a, just drop them into like a couple different scenes towards the end. I'm like, let's just, it's so we can get to the end kind of thing. So it was like, boom, boom, boom. Because I didn't want to make it this really long thing. So I feel like it was, and I wanted to hit, I guess, the parts that she was talking about too, like Jensen thinking about, what do I do in that situation? She mentions a silver bathtub. I still have yet to watch the video, so I just inserted a silver bathtub. I'm hoping there's a silver bathtub in the video that people know what they're talking about. But either way, it was like, okay, so, but it was fun, and she liked it, so she responded back because I was trying to gift it to her, but she said she didn't have an actual account. But then I saw that she responded, so I don't know.
She made one, didn't she?
I don't know if she made one, or
can you put your name in on AO3?
I think we can. I'm wondering if I can invite her to create. I think I can, right? It might, because
you can't just sign up. You gotta
go into a queue. You have to request, and then you have to wait. I'll have to look, but she was fine with whatever. So I know she made a Miss Audubon name, so I just gifted it. I said maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, whatever. So we'll do that. But yeah, it was fun, and it was different, and there's no porn. It's rated general, but still, it was a fun little thing. It was a fun little thing to do. So it won't get as many hits.
Yeah.
Because it's general.
Yeah, that's always the rub, isn't it? But it's fucking, oh my God, it was great. And like at the end, when Cass is talking to the twins, and I could fucking hear it. Yeah. I could hear it. I could hear, like, he's really like socially awkward, but like trying to be endearing voice, complimenting the kids. And I could just see Jensen in the background, like, sorry, what? I was fucking, oh my God, it was perfect. It was just, the car chase was great. Just everything. And it's like fucking Dean elbowing Sam out of the way in the car window. Oh, it was great. I really, really, like, I was laughing my ass off by the end of it. And I was like, oh, this is fucking perfect. I love it.
Because really, like, in any legitimate scenario, like, no one's going to be thinking about, like, it's a life or death situation. So you've got to realize there's levity to this that's in no way real. There's no reality to this situation. So I'm like, let's just go with it. It's fine. Let's just have fun. And it's, it can feel dreamy or whatever. I didn't want her waking up after. I was like, well, maybe she does. Like, maybe she wakes up and it was all a dream since it's based on a dream.
It's not.
I didn't want to do that. So, and I didn't want like a cheesy goodbye. There was already enough cheese, and I was like, I hope Dean decides to watch.
It rounded off well.
Those Blu-rays.
And that was a great little thing. I was like, oh no, you've ruined the timeline. Fuck. That was great. That's just such a Jensen thing to do. Be like, no, I gave him a heads up. No. And
he's doing that for the Winchesters, right? Let him do that for these for this Sam and Dean.
You just, you know that like that's gonna like if you watch like Terminator or Back to the Future or anything, you're like, oh no, that's fucked some shit up. But you're like, oh, that's so nice. I was great. Somebody wanted to drive the boat. Anyway, there isn't a boat anymore. It's just fucking really, really good. Really good.
It was fun.
Yeah, you should definitely read that in line with Anna's so I can tweet that because I'm like, everybody needs to read this. Is great.
Yeah, I will, because I figure that sort of that part that we recorded, beforehand where we were brainstorming, I'll put that together.
Yeah.
And then maybe this little bit I'll add in.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'll do the reading and then this little bit can go in towards the end. So that's another episode right there. There we go. We got another
look
episode
at that.
done.
We're on the roll. The roll.
It gives me stuff to work with. So that's good. If you're interested in reaching out, you can email us at idlingintheimpala@gmail.com. We also have a Twitter account. Our Twitter handle is idling in the letter D Impala. And then in terms of reaching out to me, I have some works on AO3. My username is Drasna. On Twitter, you can find me at skyle, Kyle, writes WRITES. And also my website for some of my original fiction is at sandrakyle.com.
I keep a solid theme. I'm all in one place. I usually have the same profile picture on all the places as well. So if you want to find me on AO3, read anything I've done, you can find me at Kali Karma. However you think that's spelled, I guarantee you it's not. So that's K for Kilo, A for Alpha, R for Romeo, L for Lima, E for Echo, E for Echo, and then Karma as you would spell it normally. See, I told you it wasn't how you thought it was. And I'm exactly the same on Twitter, Kali Karma. It's the same profile picture for both sites as well, just in case you think, hey, I wonder if I found two people with a weird name. It's not. If it's the same profile picture, it's me. So that's where I'm at. So messages on Twitter, send us an email. You want to reach out to either of us personally, that's where you can find us.
Yeah, and we look forward to catching up with you again soon. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys.
If 3 different types of pie can't tear him away from the television, nothing will. God, I hope the movie's done by now.
All I know is I am deserving of some hair care tonight.
By hair care, you mean running your fingers all through Sam's?
Absolutely.
Well, baby's back safe and sound, and we've got some boys to see.
Thanks for coming along for the ride. Who knows? Maybe next time we'll give you the keys to take her for a spin.
Where's the pie?
Look at these chemicals. You even read the label?
No, I read pie. The rest is just blah, blah, blah.